Hello guys, it's Simshire, okay? Well, here is my Santa village with a Grim Reaper element, I guess. Gotta say, this took it out of me, guys. Like, it was a lot. By the third building, I was like, who told me to do this? No one told me to do this, so why are you doing this? But we're already flipping through the buildings. We started at the mail house, and then this is like a eating area for everybody, for all the elves and Santa Claus, and this is their apartment, Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. And then this is his office up here, and it's, of course, Christmas threw up everywhere. Although, I am a bit disappointed. I never really, fully decked out a house in Christmas in Sims 4. It's kind of hard. The decorations are, subpar. Oh, and that was my clock tower room. I was super proud of that. I got, a bunch of gears, and I threw them up in the top bit of the building. But this is Grimm's tower. Huge, right? And then you're probably what's the business here? Okay. So the businesses are, this is one toy shop here for Santa. And then there's actually, I didn't show you guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't show you. But in the bottom of Grimm's tower, there is a vet office. I don't know. It's a vet office. For my thought process was that sisters, this is Santa's village. He's the village doctor. Okay? Village doctor, okay? And then he takes more than the animals. So he takes care of the animals for some reason. I don't know. Don't ask me. Someone make up a reason down in the comments. And yeah, it's a vet office down there. I don't know. I wanted it not to be obvious for some reason. I don't know. I went really weird there. But anyway. Because I felt like going full coffin, by a coffin in the middle of Santa is kind of weird. So I tried to make it coexist with Santa. So Grimm kind of got the short end of the stick. And then I don't show you each individual house in the tour style I usually do. I just did an overhead because there are many tiny houses. So yeah, I just kind of tried my best. This is at this point when I was doing these houses, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I was just I don't want to do this anymore. So I was just grabbing whatever and placing it. I was like, boom, 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 boom. Let me get through this. Boom, 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 boom. I was just going through them all. But yeah, I tried to make them as different as possible, but also trying to keep in a red and green-ish theme. These are the elf houses. Okay, and then yeah, back to, I love this, by the way. I love my mailroom I came up with. I think it's adorable. I did these stupid what are these, mailboxes? And they are so grimy and that they look so ugly. I was like, how do I fix this? Because these are the only mailboxes that were working for me. Oh, and by the way guys, this video is very long. I know, but this is the finale. This is the finale of the supernatural build. So yeah, okay. So anyway, I love this mailroom. The mailboxes kind of they're kind of ugly. So I just covered them up with Christmas decorations, and then what else did I do? I put packages all along the top to kind of cover up the grimy bit a bit more, and then I think that's all I had. And then there was all those stickers down at the bottom that didn't really jive with the vibe. So I found this weird fancy decal that covered it up a bit, and I was like, this looks okay. This is it looks better than what it is. Okay, I tried. But yeah, that's basically it for in here. So I just really kind of just covered it as much as I could. But I think it ends up, like I said, super cute. Like, look at this. It's adorable. And then I like tried my best. There's not that many decorations, like I said. There's just not. Like, what the hell? I reused like the same like 5 things. I got the nutcrackers, the Christmas trees, and then there's a couple snowmen. That's all I had. That's all I had to work with, okay? And that is kind of hard. And like all of the like I don't know what they're called. Like the pine cones with like the leaves, whatever that is. I don't know. What's right in front of me? And then for over here, we are on to the toy store era, okay? So I decided I actually really love the shop front I did. Don't ask me what was like my plan or thought process. But yeah, I did like this weird, I don't even know what the style is, but I went warm and like log cabin-y winter era. Okay. And so I did this weird shop front with glass wallpaper. I think that's glass wallpaper, and then I separated the panels with like a wooden beam. And then on the very top, I did like a cute little toy moment and then a center sign with one of the only decals that I actually liked that was Christmas. I thought the freezer bunny and the like little wreath was super cute, so I used that. And I threw some snowflake decals as well up there. I think it ends up super cute. And ignore like the weird, I show you the weird like disconnection of the outline. That's because of my Reshade. If I size something up, the Reshade does not like that. But yeah, I think I did. I might have even thrown some on. Yeah, I think I did. I threw some more decorations on top of the mailroom because I felt like it was still lacking. At the very end, I try and go around to all of the homes and give them a little bit more of a Christmas vibe. I don't know. And then I try. I don't do it to all of them, but I do it to most. I put like more wreaths and more like the like little garlands around on all the windows, but I got tired, so I definitely didn't do all of them. And so yeah. But for the shop front, I don't even think I threw. See, I was tired. It's not up on the gallery yet because I haven't play tested this. This was more of a decorative build, I guess I want to say, because I don't think you can use most of this place. The decorations got a little out of hand, and I was trying to just place it on overlap and everything, and I don't think this is a very usable place you want to play in. But if you want to, go ahead. But I don't think it would be fun. Yeah. So for this business area, I didn't even put a business like check-in thing because I forgot. I'll go back and add it if I do playtest. I don't know. We'll see. I think I just did shelves, and then I did a couple of the business hobby shelves, and then I did like regular shelving and random tables to like fill up the space. That's it. And then I did my fake checkout out the back, and then I realized, I had my original thought the back room was supposed to be like a bathroom, but I was like, this doesn't really need a bathroom, does it? It's a shop. It's like, I mean, it would be nice if it had a bathroom, but it doesn't really need one. So I changed my mind and I made that like the little checkout area because I realized I didn't have enough room up here. And also it would kind of ruin the like shop front part of it. So I just moved it to the back. And then this is basically what it looks like. And then I pause my recording and then I place every single toy I could find and try to make it as cluttered and as Christmassy as possible, or Toy Story, I guess, if that makes sense. And then if we go upstairs, we have what did I do? Okay, we go upstairs. We have a couple like long tables. I'm thinking like toy line vibes, like they're working on the toys and doing whatever. And then I felt like the toy store, or like this part of the shop area, I guess, needed like a section as well for like finished stuff. So I threw in a bunch of like wrapped presents, and then I did like the mail boxes as well, because I'm thinking like maybe these are all the letters, and like once they're sorted they come over here and they're alphabetical or whatever. All of Santa's letters are over here with the requests and the weird and then the blah blah blah. So I did my mailboxes again, but I used these tiny red ones to make it like bigger slots. I don't know. And then maybe like somehow all of the mailboxes are like connected or whatever, and it's magical, and they, you know, it's like a magical shoot. Everything's like interconnected. If that makes any sort of sense. And so when Santa or whatever sends them something, it like comes over magically and vice versa. And then I think what else? I had something else to say, but I forget what it is. So we're just gonna continue on because I don't remember. And I think that's basically it. And then on all the tables, I placed a bunch of toys and like what else? I put toys, stuffed animals, and then I even branched out and put a couple of like the sports stuff, basketball, football, and soccer balls. I put a bunch of those in here as well. And then I put a bunch of clocks everywhere. There are literally clocks in every house, every room. I tried my best to remember to put a clock because like I feel like they would always be looking at the time, making sure they're on time and whatnot. They're like, I need this done, this done by this time today. They need the times of all of the places around the world. So that was like my thinking behind why I have so many times and so many clocks. But yeah, that's basically why. And then I did, like I said, if you missed it, there was the clock tower in the middle, okay? And then I did like the little gears up top. That's like, I don't know, Grimm? What is the point of Grimm in all of this? Who knows? He takes care of the animals. Wow, I can't speak. He is taking care of like the whole village and whatnot. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. He's a town doctor. I don't know. He's the reason Santa's still alive. Maybe, I don't know. But that's all I had. That's my reasoning. Take it as far or as little as you will. Okay. And then you might have noticed I did skip me building because I don't know why, but this lot was so glitchy. I mean, it could be the amount of stuff I was doing, but it was very slow and like choppy, so I just skipped it. I said, you know what, let's skip it. And then I realized when I was placing windows and stuff and doors, it was doing this weird glitch where it would like, I don't even know how to explain it. It highlights every single like window and door I placed prior and like does like a little black flash. It is very annoying and very weird. I thought it was my Reshade. It's not. I thought maybe it was a mod. It's not. It's the game. I don't know what's wrong with the game, but my game started doing that and I don't know why. So that was fun. So I just like, skipped that for y'all. I was like, whatever. I'm not gonna share that. But that was why. But yeah, I think Grimm got the short end for sure. This is like Santa's took over. I really went all in on Santa. So I hope you enjoyed that. So yeah, a couple work tables, and then I think that's it. And then I made sure to include a basket full of coal on the floor because I thought that was important. So there's a basket full of coal somewhere in here. And then I think my favorite building is definitely the toy store. I really like the shop front, and then I really like my letterbox right here situation. And then I also like the mailroom I did prior. I love this build. I don't know. Grimm's tower is a little like, I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it, but someone else might feel it. You know, someone might like it. I don't know. I didn't really like what I had done, but I just kept going. I just kept going, and then I like I said, I skipped the windows and walls and everything. I don't know how I got these buildings to what they are. Because at one point I had a circle room, and at another point I started crashing out and said no circle rooms. I'm done with this bullshit. And so yeah, I think there's one circle room left because I couldn't get rid of it because it was on a what is it called, a foundation, and it was glitching out. So I was like, okay, you're staying here forever, I guess. And so yeah, these buildings are quite weird. And then the one that really irritated me was the like eating area, the tavern, or whatever you want to call that, where Santa's house is. And then because it's on a slant, my stupidity, I put it on a slant. And like Sims 4 doesn't like slants or anything that's not like straight and normal. So when I was placing the stairs, my only place I could put them was in the front. And it looks okay now, but I was like, wow, are you kidding me? That was the only place I could fit the stairs. And it was terrible. I was like, guys, I forget what I was gonna say. I had to go yawn. You might have heard it like the first second, but I had to go yawn, and I've lost my thought. Okay, I've lost the point of the conversation. For the like entire like village or whatnot, I used a bunch of, what did I use? I used Enchanted by Nature because I felt like woodland vibes was quite fitting. I don't know. It's very middle of the woods type, like cozy vibes. You know, I think it looks pretty good. I love the toy shop. I think it's my favorite, like I said. And then I just like fill it, boom, like just like that. Looks amazing. I gotta say, I really did too much. I did too much. Okay, and then I think yeah, the rest of it. There might there's like a tiny for decoration. There's a tiny room at the top. That's it. That there's nothing in. And then onto Santa's house / eating area. I don't know. And then the only bathroom, is over by Santa. He has the full bathroom. Everywhere else has. I sprinkled in a couple of outhouses from the like thingy, the what is it called? I don't know. The free outhouse. You know what I'm talking about? What was the thing called? Anyway, that thing. I sprinkled in some, and then for Grimm, he technically doesn't really need a bathroom. He doesn't really need a kitchen. He doesn't really need a bathroom, and you know, it is what it is. He doesn't really need that stuff. So I took the liberty of just not doing it. So the only one who has an actual bathroom is Santa. Okay, sorry. Santa needs to go to the bathroom because he drinks a lot of milk and cookies. Like I said, I kept it pretty like warm and brown and kind of like blending in a little bit. I don't know. And then I threw in a bunch of decorations again. And then I decided to put a private like table for Santa and Mrs. Claus. And I think it looks great. I think ignore the portrait I put up on the wall. I was gonna playtest this as I was doing it, but my game broke and wouldn't let me in with the sim. So I gave up on that. Like whenever I would try to load in with the sim, it would just be like the, what is it called? Like the infinite spin of the plumb bob and whatnot, so I was just stuck there. And I was like, okay, never mind. No play test for you. It just wasn't meant to be. And it just wasn't meant to be. So we're fine. Okay? I think yeah, there's a nice old man in the photo for y'all. It's fine. And I threw in a bunch of Christmas trees in this one because this is like Santa's spot. So I was like, maybe I should put a couple more trees in than I would normally. I threw in 3 in downstairs alone, and then there's 1 on each level, I believe. I think there's 1 in Santa's room and then 1 in his office. So very nice, very cozy. And then, like I said, I reuse the same like 5 decorations over and over again. The garland, the freaking nutcrackers, they're just like repeated all throughout. And I was highly disappointed that there was no candy cane. For some reason, I thought there was a candy cane. I don't know. I really wanted a candy cane, and so I made one. You might have noticed one. I did a giant one. I don't know. It's kind of ugly, but I committed, and since I spent a little time on that stupid candy cane, so it was staying there. I committed to it, and it is what did I use? I used the horse balls because they are in red and white. Yes, that's right. I used the horse play ball and stacked them on top of each other, and I thought that looked quite nice. So yeah, that's nice. And then again, I'm just putting a bunch of Christmas decorations and whatnot, and then in here I do a double fireplace, and then I do 2 long tables for eating for all the elves. And I feel like that's enough. Let me think. There's like 5 or 6 tiny homes over there. So what? Let's say 2 to 1 person per house, maybe. So 2, 4, 6, 9, 10. Yeah, it's enough. It might be a little less than what you need, but I mean, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. There wasn't much space left here, okay? And originally I was gonna do like a tavern bar, but I was like, no, this is cozy. I don't know why I'm doing a bar. So we're doing a nice family eating area for all of Santa's and his helpers. Okay, and then I don't know, it's just like part of the shop. Maybe this is like a experienced eat with Santa or something. But no, the main shop is the vet, and then the toy store. That's it. And that's pretty much all I had in here. And then these tables, a couple more seating areas, and then I did a bunch of Christmas decorations, and then I do the bathroom. As always, I end up with a weird bathroom, but that's besides the point. It's an odd shape. Overall, I think the Santa eating area looks quite good, quite cozy, gotta say. I mean, the bathroom's cute. It's just like an odd shape. I feel like the toilet cubicles are kind of weird. So, for like the vibe of the village, so I did 2 bathrooms, of course, and then I did a custom one, as always, for some reason. I just end up not leaving enough space. I'm sorry. It looks fine. It's cute and cozy. I put a little bench in the hallway. It's fine. Very nice. That's basically it. And then, of course, throw in some more Santa decor and garland and lights and call it a day. And then I actually really do, I use it all the time. This flooring, the tile, it's very, I don't know, it gives a little bit of Christmas. I thought it was fitting. But I always use it for other builds, for just like a regular bathroom, because I think it's cute. That's basically it down here. I don't think I did anything else. Maybe I threw in a couple more. I think I I throw in a couple more decorations out the front where you're supposed to come in. I felt like it was a little bland looking. I think I just put a giant snowman and then maybe a couple of nutcrackers. That's it. And then when we go upstairs, I was kind of, the layout is also weird when we go up there. Because, yeah, I didn't want to put a ladder, so I ended up putting like a full staircase, so it's slanted, of course. So it takes up a lot of the room, and it's not ideal. It's not ideal, but it's fine. Okay. And yeah, but I think it looks okay. I don't know if it's usable, but it looks okay. I'm sorry, guys. I swear I do try my best. I do. I think that's I don't think I did anything weird up there. I just tried to. I fit quite a lot up there for it being such an odd shape, but it's just like a basic bedroom with a bed, a couple seating spots, and then I squeeze in a chess table, bookcases, and then a Christmas tree, of course. And then we go upstairs to the office. That's basically it. I think I do an okay-ish job of like making things look different. I was like, I'm getting kind of tired of what I'm using, but I tried. I was like, there's so many more spots I have to cover in Christmas, and it's starting to all blend together. But I tried, okay? And then like for the like tiny homes, I didn't actually record that because it's like 6 tiny homes, okay? It's gonna be twice the amount of footage I already had. I think I had so much footage, guys. It was crazy. I said, okay, I can't use this. Let me just cut this all down. I think this is ending up to be like maybe an hour and some minutes. I cut it all out, bro. I was like, I'm done. Let's cut this down a bit. Let's get it together. But I'm pretty proud of like how different they all look. I don't think any they look the same, but they all have like a vibe going on. Like, I think. Anyway, I think I have a vibe. So here's my like weird entrance. That's nice. I did it's because of the roof and it's slanted, so it's like a weird triangle piece that's left outside to be a deck. It's weird. It's fine. I did it on purpose. No one has to know. Yeah, and that's basically it. And then I think what else did I put in here? I just squeezed in the chess table, I think, like I said earlier. And then the staircase is none of the staircases are quite ideal. And none of the ladders I use in the tiny homes are ideal. I don't know. It's all quite like forced on me because of the spacing I left. Well, I guess I did it to myself. Actually, I did it to myself, so I can't blame anybody but me. I just didn't plan ahead accordingly. I was just like, ooh, maybe this will look good, and I made a weird building. Okay? But for like the exterior, I think I actually wanted like a round, like I said earlier, I tried to use round rooms. I wanted a round clock tower. For whatever reason, I don't know. I wanted a round one. And then I tried that and it wasn't working, so I gave up pretty quickly. And I ended up going with like a combo round and then like the pentagon room or the hexagon. I can't remember what size I used. I used that shape, and then I also put there's a bunch of shapes going on. Square, hexagon, whatever you want. Circle, it's all there. It's all there. And like I said, I was quickly, a lot of it is reusing the same color because I ran out pretty quick. I need a refresh of Santa and Christmas and the holidays because this is not it. This is not it. Where are like all the decorations? There's like, and then like half of the decorations are the same, just like slightly different. Like they've like simplified a decoration. They made like a garland, like just like one piece instead of like 4 pieces. One has a bow, one doesn't have a bow, one has sparkle. What? Wait, why are you doing this? Like, give me a different decoration. Like, why? The Sims loves doing that. They love doing the same thing, just like with slightly different variations. I love it for them. But yeah, that's basically it. I think I like the overall vibe. It's 5. No, I'll go higher. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 for vibes. I don't know. And then let me see. Since it's the finale, what is my favorite build? It's definitely not this one. It's not this one. I think my favorite was gotta say, it was the bot garage and arcade. I really like that one for some reason. I think it was because I've never done an arcade and I like the alien vibe of it all. Like it's been done before, but I've never done it, so I really liked it. And I really like how I did the garage. I think it ends up looking super cute. And then like with all the colors and then like the clashing of the like brick and stone of the garage in the back and the dump. I think it's super nice. I think that was my best one. But yeah, let me know down if you made it this far in the video. I don't know, it's getting pretty dang long already. Let me know down in the comments what was your favorite if you watched them all. And that's crazy if you did, because there's like 8. There's a lot of videos. There's a lot. I don't know how long. I don't know how long the playlist got, but it's pretty long. So to recap, who did we do? We did every supernatural. We did. Okay, who did we start with? I don't even know who started it. But we have a ghost. We have a witch. The ghost was a tea shop. The witch was a bookstore. That was. Ooh, I forgot about that one. No, that one was like a top contender. I might have to rethink my top choice. Actually, I might have to rethink it. No, I forgot about that one. Okay. First is the bookstore / tea shop. Then the bot garage. Okay, and then I can like mix them back. But those two are my top 2. Okay, we'll give it that. I gotta say. Okay, so they had the tea shop and bookstore. And it was the steampunky train station, and it was super cool. I love that one. Okay, I do. Okay, that one was my favorite. Okay, and then that was that. And then what was next? I don't know who was next, but we'll do the alien and then the bot. So that was the bot garage, and then the arcade, super cute. And then the plant sim, and then what was with her? The mermaid, the plant sim, and the mermaid. So the mermaid had a gift shop for like beach vibes, I guess, and then the plant sim had a plant shop. Very cute, very wholesome. And then the vampire and then the werewolf, that was a pretty good one. I like that one. That was quite recent. I did I'm buffering. I did a vampire restaurant with a like speakeasy or like entertainment down in the basement, and then the werewolf had a abandoned warehouse out the back with a converted music shop, and then a teaching area at the top, and then a bar hangout area at the bottom. And what else did I do? Is that everything? That's 2, 4, 6. I'm missing one. I'm missing a pair. Who am I forgetting about? There's the fairies. I forgot about the fairies. I did a fairy village, right? I forgot. That was a lot. Not my favorite. It's the only reason it's not my favorite is because the items were so like repetitive, and like I just made a bunch of houses that all look the same but like in different colors. So it's not my favorite, but it was a good build. It was a good build. I think that's it, right? How many supernaturals do we have? That's it, right? I think so. Honestly, can't say. I think that's basically the whole vibe captured in 1 or 2 or 3 sentences. But yeah, that's basically it. So, how do we like the grand finale? Was Santa a good way to finish it? This is a fake occult anyway. I threw them in because I was like, I wanted to keep it going, the playlist and the vibes. So I was like, we'll throw in Santa and Grimm. How about that? But I think it turned out okay. I think this is quite a good build, I gotta say. But yeah, we're basically done with Santa's portion, I think. Only thing we have left to do, oh no, I did it already. We did the desk area with a bunch of presents and the letter answering or reading, whatever you want to say, that area is. And then this is the only bathroom in this place with the tub. So, good luck here. Like I said, I wasn't really thinking functional. I was thinking looks and aesthetics. But yeah, that's basically it. And then, I don't know where, I think we go to Grimm's house next. And then, I mean, it looks okay. The Grimm looks okay. It's not my best work, but it's not my worst either. I did a bunch of like weird challenges when I started the channel, and those builds were quite weird. So it's not the worst thing I've done. So it's fine. I think it turns out okay. But yeah, that's it. We're done with, well, we're not done with Christmas. I felt like Grimm, even though he's Grimm, he needed a bit of, since he's in the area, he needs a bit of festivity. Is that right? Is that the word? Festivity? Yeah, that's the word. He needed a bit of color. So we do Grimm, black, grays, and whatnot. And then I go back and I add a bit of color and a bit of sparkle with the Christmas decorations here and there. Not as much as in the Christmas building, but here and there. There's a lot, but there's less than what I would put in a Christmas building. So we did that. We even gave him a Christmas tree. And then I sprinkled in a bit of color, but not a lot. Even the little color I did feels wrong, but I left it anyway. Does that make sense? I didn't like it, but I kind of left it. I was like, this doesn't really go because everything else is black. So I was finding it hard to accept the color scheme I had chose. So yeah, I left it like that. I was like, I give up. And especially the stupid since I did the vet, the stupid machines are stark white, and I was like, is there a way I could like cover this up without it being weird? But there isn't. There really isn't. I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't know. I tried. It was all quite weird. I don't know. It was quite weird, gotta say. Oh, completely lied. We do not do Grimm next. We do the stable, which I had forgotten about. I completely forgot I did this. I did a stable. Right, for the reindeer, not horses. Reindeer. This is reindeer. Okay? I didn't put much in there except for like the horse stuff. Reindeer. So I didn't put much in there. I just put a couple sitting areas, Christmas decorations everywhere, and then the main attraction at the very top of the second level, not the very top. I did an opening for, can anybody guess? Santa's sleigh. So, at first, I was like, I don't really feel like doing it. I was like, I wasn't gonna do it. Okay, so I went to Handy Dandy Gallery here, and I took a little glance in there, and I found an amazing sleigh. I was like, oh, this one's quite nice. I don't remember who did it. I think I showed up on the screen, so props to them. I love it. I use it, and then I do tweak it a little bit. I switch out a couple of things on the sleigh that I think might suit it a bit better, but that was basically it. That's all I did. And then a bunch of decorations down here. So I opened up that wall, and then I opened up the other side as well, and I put a, like, what do you want to call it? A run lane, like, of sorts. I don't know. And then it's bothering me a bit, but it's slightly off. But it's fine. I'll live. We'll all live. It is a little bit not centered, I guess. So Santa's sleigh up there, and then like a little spotlights to guide him in, and a bunch of lights for like, you know, what is up for the lane, I guess. And then that's basically it. So I put his sleigh there, and then I call it a day. And yeah, so I can't read that from where I was, but it was on the screen for a second. So shout out to them. That was quite nice. I loved it. And yeah, the only thing I did, it's still cool. I tried to cover it with decorations. I put a bunch of garland, but I felt like it was quite plain, so I threw some extra presents on the side as well. And that's it. So here's me putting all the spotlights and everything, trying to make it like look lit up for him to come in and come out. And that's it. That's all we had. I'm quite glad that was a good find. So yeah, I always like to peruse the gallery to find a specific object. I'm like, maybe someone's made it. And I'm like, thank you God, you're so good. Okay, and then back to Grim. We finally came over. I can't believe I forgot about the stable. I forgot about it. So Grim here is our last furnish, I think. Okay, Grim is the last furnish. And then, like I said, yeah, the color scheme, the layout, everything was just off over here in Grim's place. I was like, I don't really like anything that I'm doing, but I'm just gonna keep on going ahead. I did a little seating area or waiting area for patients or whatever. And then I do, like I said, I throw in, I might have put a lot, but I threw in Christmas decor. I don't think I did a lot, but I did some, okay? And I don't keep the red sofa. I don't like that. I do switch it out for another Christmassy color. I do dark green. I think that looked quite nice with the black. Although, maybe I should have just done that downstairs, because I put a bright red sofa down there and I didn't really like it, but I kept it anyway. I think it was because I didn't want to reuse the same one I had already. So I was trying to be like different, and I should have just like switched it out with the same couch, and it would have looked quite nice. But yeah, basically pretty dark and gloomy. I put a bunch of urns up there and like spooky stuff in jars and stuff like that. And so he has like a little, I guess that could be his office or something. That's his office. And then up here, I don't think he would really use it, but he has a tiny bed. And then this part is entirely questionable if it is usable or not, because like look at this layout. There's 2 ladders, one for going down, one for going up. At first I wasn't gonna do any ladders. Like I was like, Grim doesn't need a ladder, he probably teleports. But no, I did a ladder for looks and style and aesthetic. Okay, so we do a ladder, and then I shove literally everything in here, and it's all quite black and grays and stuff like that. I even squeezed in a piano. I think it was quite a good vibe. I had a good vibe going here. I squeezed in the piano. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of entirely questionable if this spot is usable, but we shall see. I should be able to playtest it later-ish, equals tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. Later-ish, maybe. That's it. And then I think that's basically, yeah, I just put a desk in and then some bookcases. That's it. That's all I fit. And then upstairs, again, there's another level. It's the clock tower bit with the gears, and then that's it. That I believe. And you can, like I said, I don't know if you can get up here. We should be able to get up to the clock tower, no problem. Well, I don't know. It's questionable. I did put a bunch of stuff up there. You know what? You gotta find out for yourself. I don't know if you can get up there. We'll see. But that's basically it. Then I think we go downstairs to do the vet office. Now, since you guys didn't see it, it's like I said, still like the monotone black and grays, but I threw in a bit of color, which I don't like, and then I used the white pet stuff, which is not ideal, but it's fine. But basically the two rooms are duplicated on the ends, so they have the bookcases on either side, and then I do another seating area in the middle here, and I switch out a couple of these carpets. I make them a bit darker and moodier, but that's it. And then I do the machines you need. I don't know what they are. There's like 3. I think one's a surgery, one's what you do with the actual animal, and then the last one's probably, I don't know, research? Or no, it might be medicine or treats. You can make treats, so it's probably the treat machine or whatever, however you make them. And so that's basically all that's down here. And then the rest is decor. Decor. Okay, ignore me. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. It's been a while. Okay? But yeah, the rest is decor. Okay? And then we layer in garland, light. Did I put lights down here? I don't know. I definitely put garland down here. So, that's it. That is everything. And then the very, very last thing I do is landscaping. The next thing I do, but I don't show you guys, is the tiny homes, but you already seen all this, so you're fine. I do that, and then I do landscaping. So landscaping was the very last thing I did today, and you know what, I kind of like lost my mind at one point. And I was just like, you know, placing whatever. I was just doing boo 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 boo. And I was like boo boo boo. I was, you know what, you know, like you just keep placing the same thing over and over again, and then you just keep going around and around and around. That was basically what I was doing. So for the last whatever or so minutes with the landscaping, it'll be like no commentary probably. But yeah, thank you guys for watching if you are still here, and I hope to see you guys next time.